New Zealand has the highest rate of domestic abuse per capita in the developed world. Abuse needs silence to thrive. In this series, Simonne Butler, herself the survivor of a vicious attack that nearly took her life, meets those brave enough to break their silence. These are their stories. Domestic abuse affects many families in Pacific communities in New Zealand, but finding people to speak to about it was tougher than Simonne expected. Then she came across an online video called Say Something. Today, Simonne's visiting Lander, Ace and Lavahki, a Samoan family who acted in the video, raising awareness about domestic abuse amongst Pacifica.
So happy to have you here.
This is Lander, and this is her husband Ace. They and their eldest son Lavahki acted out the domestic violence scenes in the video. It was made for their church on a shoestring budget, and it struck a chord. It's now had hundreds of thousands of views on Facebook and has turned Ace and Lander into local celebrities.
Even going Pack and Save now, it's funny.
Yeah, you see people go,
Hey, that's that guy. It's like,
yeah,
oh, that's right, we did a video.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
Or you bump into people
Yeah.
and they're like, I feel like we know you guys.
But what Lander and Ace weren't prepared for was how participating in the video brought up past issues from their own lives.
How similar was the acting that you were doing to the previous experiences that you'd had as a couple?
That felt really real. Like, we didn't even have to act. We didn't even have to try because, like, already we were already kind of like in that space. And so it was just natural for us just to go in and do that.
Like, I haven't seen my dad like that. Like, even though it's acting, I've never seen my dad like that in a long time, which is a good thing because, you know, you never want to see your dad react like that to your mother or yourself.
During a particular scene that we did, we found ourselves like arguing a lot. And we were like, oh, where's this coming? We had to stop ourselves and think, okay, where is this coming from? It wasn't till after the filming was done that had brought up issues that we thought we had dealt with. Yeah, like, Ace wasn't a violent man, like, just verbally, like, just our arguing, that was it. Like, he never laid a hand on me or anything.
I've hurt Lander with a lot of things that I've said about her, bringing down her morale. But I just didn't know how to handle my anger.
Yeah.
But it was scaring my wife, my kids, and it wasn't the right thing to do either, you know. Even throwing the TV wasn't the right thing, but I didn't know any better. Yeah, I'm not proud of it. And as you can see, you know, it's an emotional topic. I don't want that for my daughters. You know, you can't just sweep it under the carpet. And it sort of made us look at it like, man, we really need to sort out ourselves.
For Ace and Lander, sorting themselves out meant returning to their faith. They are members of Elim, a Pentecostal Christian church.
Let me tell you, God doesn't want us to just survive. Yeah. He doesn't want you to just survive. He wants you to thrive.
You go to church, but what are you going to church for? I go to church, I expose myself. I expose my sin, my failures, my everything, you know, and let God do what he needs to do with me. Heart surgery, you know, spiritually. You got church pastors, you can talk to them too, your youth leaders. And now we have these life groups at church. So we have certain people that we can talk to, and they help us out as well, because they go through the same stuff, or they've been through it, they've conquered it, and we get great advice from those guys as well.
But for some, faith alone isn't enough to stem the tide of domestic abuse. To find out how churches can play a more proactive role in reducing the problem, Simonne visits Cabrini. Cabrini's not only a Pacific Islander and a psychotherapist, she's also a devout Christian.
Christianity for the Pacific community is essential. For us as Pacifica, the meaning of the spirit and the faith is core to all our healing.
That's why she's designed a unique faith-based program combating domestic abuse.
It's different predominantly because of the spirituality, the theology, and the challenge to cultural practices. We have deified cultural practice. For example, one of Tongan cultural values is that women, they have preference and status in certain areas, but otherwise the male takes precedence. In the gospel value system, that's not true.
It's equality.
Yes. So I've really got to know what I'm talking about, or some of the elders will stand up and tell me to shut up.
And how do you handle that?
I'll say I'll keep speaking, thank you.
I love it.
Cabrini may have found her voice, but there's still a long way to go.
Some of our traditions are good, but then some of them are bad. But then there's some methods that should be changed. But that's going to take a lot of work and a lot of courage. It's not to disrespect or hurt our elders in a way, but it's just to show that, you know, there's some things that are affecting our families. Back in our culture, when I was a young fella, us kids weren't really allowed in the conversation. When I started speaking up, it got dangerous, you know. There was a lot of hurt growing inside, you know, this young fella at the time, and I'm like, shucks, man, asking questions to myself, do these people even love me? Do they even care about me? Don't say anything. You stay quiet. Just toughen up. Yeah, tough on the outside, but inside I was just becoming a bloody mess.
Ace went on to repeat an all too familiar cycle, and his son Lavahki bore the brunt of it. The family have chosen to share their deeply personal experiences in the hope it will help others.
I'll be honest, I used to get like beatings for no reason. Like, you know, my dad was short-tempered. It was really abusive. So like, and I kind of understood that when I grew up, when I started growing up. It's because of his upbringing that he was getting brought up by his family, his dad, his uncles and aunties and whatnot. So like, I kind of understood that once I grew up.
Why do you think it is so important to say something?
You know, New Zealand's got the highest rate of suicide, and that's in like the teenage years. So like, it's best to say something now than say something later, because you don't know what can happen throughout that time of family violence. Can lead to cutting. Like, I've experienced it myself through family violence. I've been through it. I've, you know, tried to commit suicide, and I'll be honest, it's not the way to go.
Oh, this guy's pretty good. This one's trying to take off.
After making the video and dealing with the issues it raised, Ace has now mended his relationship with Lavahki.
We started sorting stuff out along our journey,
Yeah.
but then doing the video, that was the big hit for us. We nearly lost our oldest boy to suicide, and that came to us building a bridge to him. And we just told him, you know, we love you. You know, our kids know that
we're here.
that we're here. You know, they're not alone, and they don't have to hide anything from us, because that's what I did. You know.
And the change now, it's a massive improvement. You know, like, we're more talkative now, so we're communicating with each other, not just for me, but for my little siblings as well. So it's kind of good that they've made that change, that they're wanting to make a difference